Okay, here is some instructions on taking the Raspberry Pi out of a TART telescope. You can see this telescope is the latest dev kit. It has the radios with the SMA connectors, but this will apply to any of the TART 3 versions with the radios that are in PCI Express sockets like these. So let's identify the components. This component here is the correlator. It's connected to this SODIMM socket, and here we have the Raspberry Pi. So the first step is to power down your TART telescope. This is best done by just switching off the power supply. In my case, I'm going to unplug the power from this end and pull it out. So now that I've disconnected the power supply, you can possibly make sure you've grounded yourself to avoid any electrostatic problems if you're in a place that has very low moisture. So there's two steps are required at this point. You can see the Raspberry Pi is behind the correlator. So this correlator has a SODIMM socket which has two tabs. So I'm going to try to adjust my point of view here and show what to do. Oops, sorry about that. So these tabs are located down here and down on this side here. They're obscured by the correlator. And so you have to reach in and push the tabs out. You need quite thin fingers for this, but the tabs push out like that. Once the tabs are out, the correlator pulls up and you push it out like this. And now you can see the tabs. These tabs pull back like that. And when you want to put the correlator back in, you push it in like this and make sure the Raspberry Pi is out of the way and push it down until it clips in. So I'm going to undo the tabs again. There's one on each side. And out comes the correlator. Once the correlator here is out, you can put it over here. The Raspberry Pi needs to come out, and sometimes this will have a cable tie, which is often through this hole here and through a hole, corresponding hole in the motherboard. But in this case, the Raspberry Pi is not screwed down, and so I lift it up like this and pull it out. And so you can now see the hole in the Raspberry Pi that lines up with this hole here. There is a possibility that there will be a screw holding the motherboard onto the box there. And this is the Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi is powered by a USB-C port here, or by 5 volts through this connector. So in the case of the operation of the TART, the connector here provides the power. When you want to debug this Raspberry Pi, you're going to need to find a USB-C power supply, which is capable of several amps. A good quality USB phone charger will do. And then connect an HDMI. This is a mini HDMI. You'll have to connect a mini HDMI to one of these, generally the first one, and a mouse and keyboard to one of the USB sockets. At that point, you're in a position to debug issues with the Raspberry Pi. All right, thanks for that. And Malkia, let me know if you have any questions to get the Raspberry Pi out.